For those of you that are new here, I am grateful for you taking the time to sit with me to receive this heavenly message. And then for those of you that are returning, welcome back. Um, I'm grateful for each of you guys that have taken the time to sit under this platform with me and to grow. Thank you for your support and liking, commenting, subscribing, however you are led to spiritually pour into supporting this ministry. So I just wanted to come on tonight and just remind you guys that I know it's hard. I know that there are a lot of different people out here going through difficulties and hardships and things like that. But um, I just want you to remember that our Heavenly Father provides your strength. And so, what better way than to go to the book of Psalms because it is a reminder of all of the ways that our Heavenly Father shows up for us and the ways that He will never forsake us. And it's just such a good book for you if you need encouragement. And I just want to remind you that you may be going through a season of trying. You may be going through a season of stretching, of growth, where you don't know where your next is going to come from. But I want you to be reminded that our Heavenly Father sees all, and no tears that you cry are cried in vain. None of that is done in vain. He stores up for you. He reminds us that the wealth of the wicked are stored up for the righteous, and at the appropriate time, He will make that transfer happen. And so I know it can get hard. It can be tough with you when you're going through the motion, when you are in it and you can't see a way out. It feels like you're drowning in every direction you turn. It feels like it's an obstacle. Everything that you put your hands to, it may seem like it's just falling apart. But you have to remember that it's in our weakness. That's where His strength is displayed. So when you're going through hardships, when you're going through trying times, when you're going through that stretching period, remember that it's in your weakness that His strength is made to be put on display in every way possible. And so I wanted to just share the book of Psalms with you in chapter 28, and it reads, "To you, O Lord, I call my rock, be not deaf to me, lest if you be silent to me, I become like those who go down to the pit. Hear the voice of my pleas for mercy when I cry to you for help, when I lift up my hands toward your most holy sanctuary. Do not drag me off with the wicked, with the workers of evil who speak peace with their neighbors, while evil is in their hearts. Give to them according to their work and according to the evil of their deeds. Give to them according to the work of their hands. Render them their due reward, because they do not regard the works of the Lord or the works of His hand. He will tear them down and build them up no more. Blessed be the Almighty, for He has heard the voice of my pleas for mercy. The Heavenly Father is my strength and my shield, and my heart trust. In Him my heart trusts, and I am helped. My heart exults, and with my song I give thanks to Him. The Almighty is the strength of His people. He is the saving refuge of His anointed. O save your people and bless your heritage. Be their shepherd and carry them forever. So how long will He carry you? Forever. And this is a beautiful reminder that you don't have to repay evil for evil, because I know that can get hard. A lot of times when we're facing challenges and hardships, especially those that we didn't play a part of, be it someone being deceptive or manipulative or stealing, thievery, because that's how Satan works. He takes, he drains, he suffocates. And so all of these different ways he's attacking, but you don't have to take that same route, because you're not to seek that vengeance. You leave that to our Heavenly Father. And so Chapter 29 is subtitled Ascribe to the Almighty in Glory. And it reads, Ascribe to the Almighty, O heavenly beginnings. Ascribe to the Almighty glory and strength. Ascribe to the Almighty the glory due his name. Worship the Almighty in the splendor of holiness. You see that? We're going to stop right there because in holiness, this means that you cannot be blemished within your heart posture. And it continues in verse 3. The voice of the Almighty is over the waters. Our Heavenly Father is the glory of thunders, the Almighty over many waters. The voice of the Almighty is powerful. The voice of the Almighty is full of majesty. The voice of the Almighty breaks the cedars. The Almighty breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf, and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of the Almighty flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Almighty shakes the wilderness. The voice of the Almighty shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Almighty makes the deer give birth and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry, Glory. The Almighty sits enthroned over the flood. The Almighty sits enthroned as King forever. May the Almighty give strength to his people. May the Almighty bless his people with peace. And so when you consider this, it's literally telling you that all he has to do is speak it, and it is so. It's talking about the authority of his voice, the weight of when he emphasizes something. If he says it, it's going to be done because his words do not return to him vain. They're not done in vain. If he speaks it, it is going to take place. And so what are the promises that he's spoken to you in this hour, in this season, in this struggle, that you are needing to be reminded of? Because he tells us to dwell on the things that are good. He doesn't tell us to focus on the things that are of the past or the things that we have no control over or the things that are negatively impacting us, even though it's easy to focus on those things. It's quite the opposite. In contrast, he tells us to focus on the good things. He tells us to fill up on that which is good, to do that which is good. Because in doing good, iron sharpens iron, so as one man unto the other. You do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So when you do good things happen. But if you're always dwelling on the negative things that are going on in your life, be it the mundane chaos or the strife that you may be enduring, you still have to find that positive in it. And that's what you need to hold on to. Don't let it go. And so chapter 30 in the book of Psalms reminds us that joy comes with the morning. So every new day is a new opportunity for you to expand beyond where you came from that previous day. Don't take the negative thoughts that you had the previous day into the new day. Let it go. Because you have to find that good place. You have to find that happy thought. It reminds me of the old classic, Peter Pan. Hi guys, welcome in. It reminds me of Peter Pan. And, all he said was to, you think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts. You're literally instructed to dwell on what's good. And so, Psalm 30, joy comes in the morning. And it reads, I will extol you, O Almighty, for you have drawn me up and have not let my foes rejoice over me. O Almighty, my Heavenly Father, I cry to you for your help, and you have healed me. O Heavenly Father, you have brought me up from my soul from Sheol. You restored me to life from among those who go down to the pit. Sing praises to the Almighty, O you, his saints, and give thanks to his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment, but his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may tarry for a night, but joy comes with the morning. As for me, I said in my prosperity, I shall never be moved. By your favor, O Heavenly Father, you made my mountain stand strong. You hid your face. I was dismayed. To you, O Heavenly Father, I cry, and to the Almighty I plead for mercy. What profit is there in my death? If I go down to the pit, will the dust praise you? Will it tell of your faithfulness? Hear, O Heavenly Father, and be merciful unto me. O Heavenly Father, be my helper. You have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have loosed my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness, that my glory may sing your praise and not be silent. O Heavenly Father, my Almighty, I will give thanks to you forever. And so it's temporary. Whatever you're going through, spiritually speaking, you have to remember who He is, what He's capable of, where you've come from. Because I can assure you that this is probably not your first hardship. So you look back at the last time you were here and what that looked like. It looked like it was endless then, but yet somehow you made it out, and you know what that somehow was. It was through his mercy, through His grace. And remember that grace is something that you can't earn. You're not earning that. He freely gives it. And so when you consider His steadfast love, we look at Psalm 36, and it reads, transgression speaks to the wicked, deep in his heart. There is no fear of the Almighty before His eyes, for he flatters himself in his own eyes that his iniquity cannot be found out and hated. The words of his mouth are trouble and deceit. He has ceased to act wisely and do good. He plots trouble while on his bed. He sets himself in the way that is not good. He does not reject evil. Your steadfast love, O Heavenly Father, extends to the heavens. Your faithfulness to the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mountains of the Almighty. Your judgment is like the great deep. Man and beast you save, O Heavenly Father. How precious is your steadfast love, O Almighty. The children of mankind take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light do we see light. Oh, continue your steadfast love to those who know you, and your righteousness to the upright of heart. Let not the foot of arrogance come upon me, nor the hand of the wicked drive me away. There the evildoers lie fallen. They are thrust down and unable to rise. So he knows, David knows how steadfast our Heavenly Father's love is. Do you know it? Do you know it? Are you reminded that He doesn't forsake you, even though you may not see Him, you may not hear Him, He may not be presenting tangibles right now in this hour for you? He still is the author of it all. He still is the controller of it all. And at that moment when He says it's a go, it's going to be a go. At that moment when He says it's going to cease, it's going to cease. Not a moment sooner, not a moment later. So what is your assignment? To maintain that heart posture of thankfulness, that heart posture of trusting by faith. Remember, faith is something that you have to have that you can't see. You're believing in that which you're hoping for, but that which is unseen. And so Psalm 37 reminds us that He will not forsake His saints. And it reads, Fret not yourself because of evildoers. Be not envious of wrongdoers, for they will soon fade like the grass and wither like the green herb. Trust in the Almighty and do good. Dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Almighty, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your ways unto the Almighty. Trust in Him, and He will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Almighty and wait patiently for Him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Almighty shall inherit the land. In just a little while, the wicked will be no more. Though you look carefully at his place, he will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. The wicked plots against the righteous and gnashes his teeth and at him. But the Almighty laughs at the wicked, for he sees that his day is coming. The wicked draw the sword and bend their bows to bring down the poor and the needy, to slay up those whose way is upright. What does that sound like? It sounds like our modern day guys. And it continues in verse 15. Their sword shall enter their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. Better is the little that the righteous has than the abundance of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Almighty upholds the righteous. The Almighty knows the days of the blameless, and their heritage will remain forever. They are not put to shame in evil times. In the days of famine, they have abundance. But the wicked will perish. The enemies of the Almighty are like the glory of the pastures. They vanish. Like smoke, they vanish away. The wicked borrows, but does not pay back. But the righteous is generous and gives. For those blessed by the Heavenly Father shall inherit the land, but those cursed by him shall be cut off. The steps of a man are established by the Almighty when he delights in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be cast headlong, for the Almighty upholds his hand. I have been young, and now I'm old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his children begging for the bread. He is ever leading generously, and his children become a blessing. Turn away from evil and do good, so shall you dwell forever. For the Almighty loves justice. He will not forsake his saints. They are preserved forever. But the children of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell upon it forever. The mouth of the righteous utters wisdom, and his tongue speaks justice. The law of his Almighty is in his heart. His steps do not slip. The wicked watches for the righteous and seeks to put him to death. The Almighty will not abandon him to his power, or let him be condemned when he is brought to trial. Wait for the Almighty and keep his way, and he will exalt you to inherit the land. You will look on when the wicked are cut off. I have seen wicked, ruthless men spreading himself like a green laurel tree. But he passed away, and behold, he was no more. Though I sought him, he could not be found. Mark the blameless, and behold the upright, for their future, for the man of peace. But transgressors shall be altogether destroyed. The future of the wicked shall be cut off. The salvation of the righteous from the Almighty. He is their stronghold in the time of trouble. The Almighty helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them because they take refuge in Him. So, you see, when you rest in Him, He provides. When you rest in Him, He supplies. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through any type of hardships. Hi, guys, welcome in. It doesn't mean that you're not going to ever have strife. But what it does mean is that our Heavenly Father is exactly who He says He is all the time. He's not a man that He shall lie. So He's going to show up for you. He's going to provide for you. He sees, He hears, He knows. And so be reminded that you are to walk by faith and not by sight. Be reminded that He sees it. He knows. He knows exactly what you need. He knows exactly where you are in the storm. I'm well in yourself. And He will supply you, guys. He will supply you. And so I'm grateful for you guys taking this time to read a part of our Heavenly Father's Word and to fill up, because there'll come a time when those that are manipulating and lying and deceiving are going to have to give an account, just like you'll have to give an account of the good that you do. But this is why you want to stay on that good standing. And so as you do that, as you go through life, be that example and let your light so shine for all the world to see, so that He may receive the glory. Okay? And so I'm grateful for each of you that have taken the time. Like I said, if you are returning, I'm grateful for you still being here, and I love you all the more. And then if you are new here, welcome in. I will continue to try to come on and do the lives. I have been trying to do them twice a day, or once in the daytime and then once in the evening. But either way, it will be one or the other, as our Heavenly Father desires to lead me to come on. And so I'm grateful for just the work that He's been doing. As always, guys, be sure to check the links in my bio for opportunities to reach out if you have those prayer requests, or if you have resources that you need and you don't know where to find them. So I definitely want to maximize this ministry work. And so if you have questions, please reach out to me via that information in my bio. And then also find some cool links for you guys to be able to find some healthy snacks with Kind. Also traveling arrangements with Hilton and IHG properties. And I just look forward to seeing you guys at the next time that we're going to be together. So the next appointed time. Until then, I pray that you are well. Like I said, if you have any subject matters that you are exploring, or you do need some assistance, or would love to do a study, please reach out to me via the information in my bio. And as always, if you desire to sow into this ministry, that information can also be found in the link in my bio, or the information in my bio, I should say. And other than that, guys, I pray that you have a good remainder of your night or your day, depending on where you're watching from. And once again, I give our Heavenly Father all the honor and glory for this platform and everything that is amazing that He has connected to it, and the works that He continues to do through it. All right, guys. So I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next go round. Take care.